Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. I've been off grid since 2012, which means I am generating my own power here on my homestead. This has given me a lot of experience in what works and what doesn't work. I've had successes, I've had failures, and I've reviewed a lot of solar products where when you're a channel that reaches a certain size, you start getting inundated with requests to review certain products, and some of those products have worked really well. Some of them have not worked really well. The OUPES solar generators that I have reviewed in the past have worked really, really well. I'm very happy with them. I've given away a number of these that I've reviewed even to some of my patrons, my Patreon page. I've reviewed the Mega 3, I have reviewed the Titan 5, I have reviewed the OUPES. I believe it's the 1200 watt Exodus version. And then today we're going to be reviewing the Guardian 6000, which in my opinion is the best one they have ever released so far. Primarily, the thing I always go back to, because I believe a lot of people can relate, is that most people, I think, have a freezer full of stuff that if it went out, if the freezer went out, if the power went out, the goods in that freezer might be worth a lot of money, meaning meat products. And if those things spoiled, that would really probably break a lot of your hearts. I have that same sort of freezer setup. I have a drop top freezer where the top opens up, and I have a lot of meat products that are in that freezer. Beef products, venison products, lamb products, chicken products that I do not want to spoil. So if my power went out, say my alternative energy system that I produce, you know, my electric that I produce here on my own homestead went out for some reason, I would have a backup to be able to put that freezer on for a certain amount of time until I could get that fixed. It's the same thing with a power outage. If you live in suburbia and you have a freezer full of meat products and that electric went out, you would want to have a backup just in case that you had an extended period of time that you needed to power that freezer. You had the ability to do so. Hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever. Those things happen. And that's why I would recommend one of these products. Now, the Guardian 6000 that has just been released, starting I think today, this is by far probably one of the ones you'd want to have on hand for sure in order to protect your meat products in a freezer or some sort of scenario like that. But there's other reasons why I have reviewed these things and why I think they're valuable. Backup communications for like ham radio. I've done videos on how you can use these things and the DC power that they produce to power some of these radio components to be able to reach out and have emergency backup communications if you needed it. Also, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize that you can use these for is if power goes out, even in your neighborhood, chances are your internet still works if you plug it into an alternative energy source. So for instance, most of you who may be living near the city or in the suburbs or even some rural places like me, I have fiber optic, but that fiber optic is powered on site here. So if I lose power, all I have to do is plug in that plug for that fiber optic into like one of the the Exodus 600, the Exodus OUPES generator here, and I can plug in my router, plug in the fiber optics, and all of a sudden, even though I don't have power to the house, I've got internet again, and that's fantastic. Most of you, it'll work the exact same way where you live in suburbia. If you lose power at your home, plug in your fiber, plug in your router, and you're gonna have internet again. Now, every time I do a video like this, I got people in the comment section who tell me, Zach, those are not generators. A generator is one that takes gasoline. No, these are solar generators. They generate power. A normal generator uses gasoline for fuel. This uses the sun for fuel. Now, I don't know about you, but if you've ever read a history book, there have been times throughout even our nation's history, those of us who grew up in the 70s and 80s, we've heard about the gas lines that took place. What if you can't get fuel? As far as I can tell, the sun comes up every day. So the sun's gonna come up, which powers these generators. All you gotta do is have a couple solar panels on hand, and these will generate power. They will recharge themselves. Just like a gas-powered generator will generate electricity with fuel, this will generate electricity with sun. It's a generator. It generates power. Today we're gonna review the Guardian 6000. That's this one right here. Let's take a closer look. And when I tell you this is the best product out there on the market right now, I'm not lying. I'm gonna give you the proof right up front. They're charging $16.99 for the release of this product, during the release of this product. Now you can go to all the major brands. I've already done it. I've already been out to all the major brand websites. I've seen what their offerings are. There's not one that comes close to what this is being priced at and what it offers. This is a lithium iron phosphate LiFePO4 battery system, solar generator. And they're giving it to you for $16.99. It's got a 6,000 watt output, okay? 6,000 watt output. It's got 4.6 kilowatt hours of supply. That's fantastic. When you compare those numbers with all the ones that are being offered right now, you're not gonna find a better deal anywhere out there, anywhere. It provides 120, 240 volt dual voltage. So those of you out there who've got like well pumps that are run on 240, this will work for you. Those of you out there who have a dryer that has to have 240, this will work for you. Any major appliance that you have out there that's going to require 240, this will work for you. It also brings 12 and 24 volt DC output options for anything you may want to charge. So for a whole list of all the options that you can use and charge with this thing, you can go to the website OUPES.com and then look up the Guardian 6000, and it'll tell you exactly all the things you can do with it, all the charging abilities. They're all listed on the website OUPES.com. Now, having reviewed things like this before many times in the past, this just being another one of them, I always recommend buying dedicated solar panels for these units. I know the companies offer the folding options where they get the panels. I'm just speaking from experience. In my experience, these panels do not hold up. They don't hold up. Don't buy those. If you want to, fine. If you want to use them for a travel or a camping trip, fine. But I highly, highly recommend having something dedicated at your house, at your home, that you can use to charge these units. For me, I have two 300 watt panels that I have dedicated just for charging these type of units. They're set on the side of my house. I can elevate them depending on the time of the year so that they get the best sun exposure so that they can more efficiently charge these types of systems. I can also, with a system like this, like the Guardian 6000, I can take the panels on my roof that charge my main battery bank, and I can plug that and wire that directly into this Guardian 6000 and be able to charge it with the enormous amount of panels I have for my main system. That's also a benefit for something like this. It allows for an awful lot of power input to come in from your main solar panel array to charge a system like this. But I think it's very important to recommend to people who buy these systems to have a dedicated set of panels, whether it's 1 or 2 or 10, just for these systems. Now, some of my audience in the past, I've actually met somebody who came to my house once who had a system like this, and they lived in a place where they got free power on the weekends. They lived somewhere in Texas. Some of you guys who live in Texas, you probably live in these areas. Leave a comment below if you're one of these people. But some of these people who live in Texas, they live in these certain communities where they get free power on the weekends. So there was a guy who came to my house and he had a system like this, and he stacked them because you can get additional battery banks to basically daisy chain on this. And he powered his house with that system, with a system like that, all week long, okay? He used this system, a system just like this, to power his house for all week long. And then on the weekend, when the community gave free power options, they didn't charge you for the weekend power usage. He charged his system on that free power. He charged it right back up through AC, free, and then powered his house during the next week with the system. So he basically powered his house free of charge. And you can do that with a system like this. Now, likewise, a lot of you guys live in places where they have peak usage times, where it costs more money during some times than it does during other times. So you can use a system like this to save a lot of money. So if you live in a place where you have peak usage times, you're basically charging this during your low peak times where you're not being charged a lot of money, and then using a system like this to power your house during the times where it would normally cost you more money to charge and run your household. If that makes sense, leave a comment below. Leave a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. But that's why these systems can be so valuable, especially systems like this where you can daisy chain the battery banks and then use that to power your entire home. I hope you see the value in something like that. If you live in one of those places, take advantage. It pays to take advantage of your situation. One more thing I want to talk about before I let you guys go. The system like this is designed to last about 10 years through 4,000 cycles. What that means, each cycle is a charge and discharge, a charge and discharge. So one discharge and one charge is a cycle. And so after about 4,000 cycles, you've gone through about 10 years worth of usage. 10 years worth of usage if you're using it every day, okay, every day. You may not be using it every day. You may be using it every so often or whatever. But if you're using it every day, it's designed to go through about 4,000 cycles and still retain 80% of its usability, okay, 80%. That's pretty good after 10 years worth of usage. So you're going to get a lot of use out of something like this even if you're using it every single day for 10 years. So I believe for $16.99, which is the price of this release during its release, it's absolutely worth the value. And then finally, you have the 30% tax credit that comes back to you. So let's just say you buy a system like this for your home solar backup. That allows you, according to the government, to apply for a 30% tax credit, meaning you get dollar for dollar, 30% of what the cost was to come back to you in your taxes. That is applicable to you if you buy this system. Most of you aren't new to my channel. You've been around here for a while. You know I only recommend or do video reviews on products that I actually use myself or I think that are valuable or somehow going to enhance your homesteading journey. These, I believe, when it comes to preparedness, when it comes to homesteading, when it comes to all of the things that are, intertwined with those lifestyles, this is something that I think is valuable for you and your family. This is why I promote them. This is why I use them. If I thought they were junk, I wouldn't promote them. I wouldn't recommend them to you. Okay, if I didn't think they would last, I wouldn't. If I thought they were unsafe, I wouldn't recommend them to you. LiFePO4 batteries or what's called lithium iron phosphate batteries are very safe. They're very reliable. I was not always a believer in this until I had an education myself in these things. And so I've come to know them, I've come to like them, and I rely on them even. So that's why I promote them on my channel. So if you're interested in something like this, give them a try. You can go to OUPES.com. In fact, if you go right now, there's all kinds of discounts that are available to you. If not, if you found this video later on after the release date, you can still get discounts. Use my coupon code and my link down below, and that will give you discounts. All of that is linked down below. You can find it, or you can go to my website at AmericanHomestead.com, and there's a banner ad for the OUPES generators. You click on that, and you get whatever discount that will be applied to that banner ad. That way you save some money. And who knows what tax credits will be available in the future? I don't know. Maybe there will be, maybe there won't be, but at least you get hopefully some discounts when you click on my banner ad. But check them out. I recommend them. They've worked good for me so far. And if something changes, I'll let you know, but I don't think it will. I think they're a really well-built company. And I think if you check out their website, OUPES.com, you're going to learn more about the company that you'll like. All right, guys. See you next time in the homestead. Bye. One of the best perks about living off-grid is that I never pay an electric bill. I love being my own power company, but that means when things go wrong, I have to be the one on call. So I try and use reliable components for my power production. For the last couple of years, I have been promoting OUPES solar generators. I've been using them and abusing them, and as it turns out, they are pretty good products. They have power generators for all occasions, and they can be charged by permanent or portable solar panels, as well as AC power. They offer true lithium iron phosphate batteries, and this is important. Recently, a family in my area had a different brand that uses the less stable nickel manganese cobalt, or NMC type batteries. The unit caught fire in the middle of the night. It was a scary situation and it caused damage to the home, but thankfully nobody was hurt. The generator, as you can see, was a total loss. This drives home the point on why it's so important to employ solar generators like the OUPES brand that uses the much more safe and stable technology of lithium iron phosphate, otherwise called LiFePO4. They offer small generators for travel or for powering an entire home and everything in between. These are great backups to have in a medical emergency or to power a freezer full of your favorite meat products, or as I have shown in past videos, for even backup AC and DC power sources for ham radio communications. If the grid goes down, you're going to be thankful you have one of these units. You can find the link in the description of this video or click on the banner ad found on the front page of our website at AmericanHomestead.com. Right here, that banner ad right there on AmericanHomestead.com.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.